Howdy y'all and welcome. I know it's been a while since I've been on here last. I'm sorry about that. I'm doing something very interesting for the channel, which is going to take actually quite a while to do. And you may notice the camera is a little bit backwards because I've been messing with the OBS settings and I'm trying to figure it all out, y'all. So just bear with me. I know since last time there's been a lot of tornadoes, smoke up in Canada. Seems like there's always smoke every year from Canada for some reason. And there was also some auroras that happened, which we'll get into the space weather in a little bit as well. Now, of course, yesterday, there was quite a few tornadoes as a moderate risk has been issued. And we see the tornado reports down here mainly in Virginia and Texas, and there was one in Oklahoma. So yesterday was a pretty active day. The experts at the Storm Prediction Center were pretty spot on, and this adds to the total of tornadoes reported this year. Now, Tornado Alley is not shifting eastward as y'all may have heard on social media or anywhere else. It's not true. There's just more reporting on it because we have cell phones nowadays, and we have a better warning system, which is not perfect, but it's better than it used to be. We can see there's 1,109 tornadoes that have been reported, and possibly 100 being EF2 or greater. So it's been a pretty active year. And of course, we are coming in on hurricane season, which we'll get into whether or not there's any hurricanes or tropical storms out there in the Atlantic or in the Pacific. Now, before we get into the forecast, what we can expect for the next couple of weeks, we actually have some severe weather today, a little bit tomorrow, and it sort of winds down on Thursday. Today, I would just expect low wind threat for really all hazards. Main hazard is going to be wind. Tuesday, there's a marginal risk for some tornadoes down here in Texas again, but mainly it's going to be a hail-driven event. And on good old hump day, there's a marginal risk up here by Idaho, where y'all rarely see any severe weather actually. And there's also a marginal risk over here by Nebraska all the way into Wisconsin and down by Texas as well. Now, I'll be reporting on this on X and Facebook in my little newspaper called the Weather Chronicle, so go follow those pages as I will be posting a daily newspaper that breaks down pretty much everything from sports, past weather events, wartime weather history, and more. So go ahead and follow those pages for that information. And in this video, I'm not going to make it too long for y'all. I don't want to make it too boring. Just let me know if y'all want me to bring back the weather history or not, because I'll gladly do so. I know some of my viewers actually like the weather history, and I do too, but let me know, y'all. Trying to make these videos as entertaining as possible. Now on to the forecast, what we could expect for the next couple of weeks. Keep in mind, anything over a week out is virtually impossible to forecast, so please take this forecast with a grain of salt. Now we can see, of course, severe weather today. Really not much to worry about. Isolated tornadoes, some hail, but the main threat's going to be high winds, so please be aware of that. If you have anything you don't want blowing around, and be aware of power outages as well. And we can see we're just going to be dealing with a lot of heavy rainfall here in the central and eastern part of the country. And it's looking like the desert southwest is still going to be dry, which what else is new down there really? I mean, it is the desert. It is always dry down there. And we can see the eastern part of the country is just going to be keeping on with the heavy rainfall. And there is actually a little system down here. I know this is well over 200 hours out. Keep this in mind. Possibly won't even happen at all, but regardless, I think there's going to be a lot of heavy rainfall down here in Mexico and really much of the eastern part of the country. Western part of the country is going to be pretty dry, I would say, for quite some time. Hence why the Climate Prediction Center issued a slight risk for heavy precipitation from the 14th into the 16th. And as we take a look at the precipitation totals of why they issued this, going to be coming in on right around 2 to 4, possibly even more than that, especially up here by Minnesota. So definitely the eastern part of the country is going to get slammed with a lot of heavy rainfall as we head into the middle and possibly at the end of the month. And as we zoom out in the lower 48, we can see a stark contrast here between the eastern and northeastern part of the country compared to the southwest, where looks like the drought's going to continue to worsen down there, unfortunately. No relief in sight. And we can see the drought conditions down here in the southwest. Looks like it's starting to get a little dry here in the Midwest, which is actually some good news. We've been coming in on a lot of heavy rainfall here lately. But we can always use the rain in June. I mean, we get rain in June, it's good for the crops, but too much rain kills the crops, of course. You can see the drought map here, surprisingly, in northwestern Indiana. It's going to be pretty dry. But the main story is going to be down here in the southwest. Unfortunately, the drought's going to continue to worsen down there. And according to the Climate Prediction Center's 6 to 10 day precipitation outlook, we can see just this right here. The eastern part of the country is going to be coming in on above average precipitation, as well as the northwest and part of the northern plains, northeast as well. And we see this desert southwest into really much of the west central part of the country is going to be heading into a below average precipitation pattern, which is not good. Y'all need the rain out there. Alaska and Hawaii, I don't report much on here on y'all, but looks like above average precipitation is expected in those areas. Head into the end of the month, it's looking like really a similar story, although they're saying the desert southwest could be coming in on above average precipitation, but it's not going to be any any drop busting rain, unfortunately, because it's looking like that drop busting rain is going to be setting shop over here out in the eastern half of the country, which rains in June means bountiful harvest. So we're going to have some good crops this year if it don't rain too much. Now, the main story within the next couple of weeks is going to be extreme heat from the 15th into the 17th, and let's actually go ahead and get into that, why they issued that. Now, as far as this week goes, I would expect it to be a little bit cool here out east to start off the week, but I would, of course, expect that to obviously change, as they did issue a risk of extreme heat from the 15th into the 17th on top of heavy rainfall here in the central and eastern part of the country. And we can see those cool temperatures are going to get wiped out as we head into next week, where 100-degree temperatures are going to stretch its way as far north as Iowa. California is going to be dealing with extreme heat out there, and there's already enough heat out there with those riots going on. Crazy people. But now we have been coming in on some cool air here lately. We're transitioning into some very hot weather, which, as the old saying goes, typically go from winter to summer here in really much of the country. And we can see really getting hot here at the end of the month, which is pretty typical. We're coming in on summertime right around the 21st. And take a look at the temperature anomalies actually before we get into the Climate Prediction Center's outlooks for the next 6 to 8 to 14 days. We can see here, the beginning of this week is going to be a little bit below average. Could be a little chilly here to start off the week this week. Head into Father's Day weekend. It's going to be warming up drastically. So make those weekend plans accordingly for those fathers out there. I'll be putting out some fun facts and folklore on that here on X and Facebook. I may have another video out by the end of this week, just depends. But we can see it's going to transition into well above average here as we head into the end of the month. And as we take a look at the 15th to the 17th, we can see the reason why they issued that risk for extreme heat. 100-degree temperatures here in the central part of the country, with heat indexes all the way up into the almost the mid-hundreds, so we're definitely going to be coming into some extreme heat here in the middle of the month with a lot of heavy rainfall too, so it's not really all that bad, because although you're going to be coming in on some sizzling heat, it could be a lot worse. Could be dealing with some dry conditions, and then could be a lot worse than this, of course. Of course, I like the heat. I like the summertime as long as it's not too humid, and I know I have some viewers that are some winter lovers. So unfortunately, if you're a winter lover, this is a sight for sore eyes, but I like to see it. I like the 100-degree temperatures, as long as it's not too humid. And of course, there's obviously a moderate risk for heat. We don't really need the Climate Prediction Center to tell us it's going to be in the hundreds as we head into the middle of the month, as we inch closer to the first day of summer. And we can see just this here in the Climate Prediction Center 6 to 10 day outlook as we head into the middle of the month. Extreme heat going on, above average temperatures expected for much of the lower 48 except for the northeast and the west coast. Alaska's even getting in on some of the heat as well. It's going to be above average up there. And Hawaii, it's always warm down there this time of year. Next 8 to 14 days, really much of the same story, and I always say this every time. And it's looking like much of the country is going to be coming into some scorching heat, although it's going to be pretty soggy here out east. Now, let's go ahead. Since the Le Mans race is coming up this weekend, it's Father's Day weekend this weekend, by the way, y'all, so if you have any dads out there that like endurance racing, like I do, then I got the forecast for you, and here is the French version of the forecast of the 24 Hours of Le Mans. It's Prévision pour les 24 Heures du Mans, if I didn't butcher that. The translation of this is 24 Hours of Le Mans forecast, so there's some French for y'all. Here's the schedule of the 24 Hours of Le Mans race. Wednesday and Thursday is pretty much practice and qualifying, with Thursday being the main qualifying day. Friday is a big celebration of the old cars and the new cars that are going to be racing. Saturday is race day, and Sunday is the finish of the race, which starts at 4 o'clock European time and 10 o'clock in the morning in Eastern time. So if you want to watch the race, starts at 10 o'clock in the morning and ends at 10 o'clock in the morning on Sunday. Now here's the forecast for the 24 Hours of Le Mans practice. Looking like it's going to be cloudy to partly sunny. Start of it's going to be 2 o'clock European time. It's going to be 85 degrees. And by the end of practice and qualifying, it's going to be 60 degrees. On Thursday, the official qualifying day to determine who's going to be setting the pole, whether it's going to be Ferrari, Toyota, BMW, Lamborghini maybe. We'll find out. I'm kind of hoping either Ferrari or Cadillac gets the pole. But we can see the start of qualifying. Hyperpole is going to be at 2:45 p.m. In European time, it's going to be at 78 degrees. It's going to be transitioning from clouds to rain. It could be rainy for qualifying. The end of it's going to be 9:55 p.m. It's going to be around 68 degrees. And of course, on race day, it's going to be starting at 4 o'clock European time, 10 o'clock a.m. our time here in the East Coast. It's going to be some thunderstorms in the area potentially. Now keep in mind this will change between now and Saturday, so please take this with a grain of salt. But of course, I will have an updated forecast on X and Facebook, so stay tuned, y'all. Now, it could be a delayed race on Saturday because of the thunderstorms, because of spectators' safety. Safety always comes first, so it could be delayed by a few, but this game will change. Like I said earlier, it's going to be mid-70s to start the race. Mid-race at 4 o'clock in the morning European time, 63 degrees. Some rain could be possible. The end of the race, hopefully Ferrari and Corvette pick up the victory in Hypercar and in LMGT3. It's going to be in the upper 60s, and some rain could be possible as well. So there is the forecast for the 24 Hours of Le Mans. Let me know in the comment section down below who y'all are rooting for. Of course, y'all know who I root for. Corvette and Ferrari and even Cadillac. And here are the cars that are going to be competing at the 24 Hours of Le Mans. You have the Aston Martins, the Porsches, Cadillacs and Toyotas, and the Alpines. And I know it did say there's Lamborghini in there, but it's not looking like Lamborghini's going to be racing in this race this year. And you got Peugeot, which back then I used to pronounce it Puigot until I started watching these races. Which the reason why I like these races is because it's a true test of endurance, full 24-hour race. It's a really, really good sport. Of course, you have the LMP2 cars, and you have the GT3 cars, which you have a Canadian car, or 51st state, and a whole bunch of Ferraris and Mercedes. And I'm rooting for this number 33 car, because Ben Keating won the 9th championship for Corvette Racing. And I'm also rooting for this Mobil 1 Cadillac, because Jordan Taylor used to ride in the Corvette race car back when it was the GTE Pro days. And here's the back of the pack, which this is not in order, this is just alphabetical order. But you see there's 3 Corvettes racing, a lot of Ferraris, Porsches. But again, let me know in the comment section down below who y'all rooting for. So I'm thinking this is going to be a heck of a good race. Now, I did forget to show y'all the smoke projection since there is still wildfires going on up in Canada. We can see, going to be dealing with some smoke this week, unfortunately, because it seems like every year there's always wildfires up there in Canada that makes the whole country smoky. And it's looking like we're going to be dealing with the smoke this week, unfortunately. So, darn Canadians, y'all need to keep your smoke up there. And as far as tropical activity goes, nothing in the Atlantic. There's a couple systems out here in the Pacific. I'm not really expecting much to happen from these. Expected to turn into a hurricane actually on Tuesday. Then be downgraded into a tropical storm before it comes a tropical depression by Thursday and just becomes a big old fish storm. Could affect the Baja of California though, so I'll be monitoring this if anything does change between now and then. And we have Barbara as well. This could affect the Baja of California as it comes a tropical depression by hump day. I'll also be keeping an eye on this as well. Could be bringing some significant rainfall here to parts of Mexico, as well as some winds. In the Central Pacific, Hawaii, you're fun in the sun, nothing going on out there, so that's some good news. Let's go ahead and take a look at Cosme and Barbara out here. We can see those are going to turn into hurricanes and tropical depressions by the end of this week, so not much to really worry about, I wouldn't think. But of course, I will keep y'all updated on X and Facebook and my little Weather Chronicle newspaper. As far as the Atlantic Basin goes, I wouldn't expect much of anything out there either. But of course, we got to watch just west of Africa because monsoon season. But again, I'm not expecting anything to form out there because we got a little bit of a high pressure going on. Not very favorable conditions out there. And we take a look at the sea surface temperatures, they are going to start to heat up here in the Gulf, and there could be a little bit of a system here in Mexico, but the National Hurricane Center hasn't issued anything yet, so I'm not too worried about it just yet, so don't worry y'all. But it's looking like the Atlantic main development region is going to start to heat up a little bit. Just west of Africa is a little bit cool though, so anything that forms just off of Africa is not going to form into anything just yet, but of course, keep y'all informed on this as well. Take a look at the Pacific Basin. We do have some pretty favorable activity out here in the Eastern Pacific for those hurricanes that are going to be forming, but of course it's going to be coming into some very cool sea surface temperatures, which is going to kill those hurricanes off, turn them into tropical depressions, and just going to be bringing a lot of heavy rainfall to the Baja of California, which the Southwest could be coming in on some rainfall, but of course not going to be any drop busting rain, unfortunately. So that's the hurricanes, y'all. Now let's go ahead and get into the aurora forecast. Since we did come in on some auroras last week because we had a solar flare going on, looks like we could have some auroras going on up in Canada tonight, tomorrow. Much of the same story, nothing like it was last week though, but of course I'll keep monitoring this, let y'all know if anything does change between now and then. And this is something I have been working on for my creation I'm going to be coming up with, and I'll let y'all know in the coming months of what I'm going to be doing. We do the latest on this Hubble telescope. Looks like they are observing ultraviolet Doppler tomography of a T Tauri Dipper disk. So Looks like the Hubble telescope is observing something very interesting out there. They're basically going to be looking at exoplanets and exoplanet formation, so that's pretty cool. The James Webb telescope, looks like they're observing something very interesting as well, which is they're observing some galaxies out there. This is something interesting looking at, y'all, which I want to give y'all a hint at basically what I'm doing. It's basically setting up a live stream powered by AI. So that's just a little bit of a hint for y'all. It's going to take me months to do. Just bear with me on that. And here is the International Space Station as well. And you can see down below here of where it is at currently. And lastly, you can see the James Webb telescope, the temperatures it's enduring right around 122 degrees Fahrenheit on the hot side and negative 384 degrees on the cold side. So you can see the James Webb telescope of what it endures and captures. Now I did put here on X and even on Facebook and even on YouTube posts of what the James Webb and Hubble telescopes are going to be uncovering this month. Basically, they're going to be covering distant galaxies and determining whether or not there's going to be life on other planets. And the James Webb Space Telescope has identified the earliest known galaxy observed just 280 million years after the Big Bang, which the Big Bang could be a myth. We could actually just be in a black hole. That's to be determined. And there's actually an asteroid that's worth $700 quintillion, enough to make everybody a billionaire on Earth. So that's very, very, very fascinating. So hopefully I didn't make this video too boring for y'all, but basically what I would expect for the next couple of weeks is it's going to be hot. Basically, as we head into the first day of summer, and we're going to be coming in on a lot of precipitation here in the eastern part of the country, while it's going to remain dry here in the southwest. And as we head into the Father's Day weekend, we got the Le Mans race coming up as well, so here's the forecast for that. So hopefully y'all enjoyed today's forecast. If you did, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Appreciate y'all for watching. Hopefully y'all did like it. Something different I'm doing. If y'all want the weather history back, just let me know. I'm trying to make these videos as short as possible for y'all so y'all can enjoy them and not get too bored. So again, like, comment, subscribe. Appreciate all y'all for watching. Stay cool out there, y'all. It's going to be getting hot very soon and very soggy, so make sure you have an umbrella as well. Desert Southwest, make sure to hydrate and stay safe down there. And until next time, appreciate all of y'all for watching and never stop forecasting.